It was awesome. Get back out there and practice and get back on the we weren't on the blue technically, but still, just to be out there with these guys, that's put a lot of hard work in just to get to this point, so it's nice to be able to get to the point.
How do you think first practice went?
The effort was good, intensity was good. We got to pick up some stuff, but, you'd hate to come out there and think you're never going to get better than day one, and we'll get a lot better than we were today, but pretty good starting point.
With the new coaching staff, I mean, how much of a learning process is this for these first few practices for everybody, really?
Well, I think there's some carryover and some similarities, but there's definitely a learning curve, and I think that the guys got the tempo of practice. They got the idea of the effort and intensity required. So we just got to do a good job of picking up the execution part of it.
What is, you've been through this a bunch of times, what is the first day of spring practice with new coaching staff like? Is everybody out there trying to prove themselves? Or?
Yeah, everybody's trying to prove themselves and trying to feel their way around a little bit and see what everybody's looking for. But I think we got a pretty good handle on that in the off season. So today was really just about trying to dial in the details and the execution and trying to improve that from where we started today.
You've coached with a lot of these guys, but you haven't been in this kind of environment together. You're kind of curious what it was going to look like, what it was going to sound like out there?
I had a pretty good idea. Like I said, there's definite changes, but these guys had a pretty good foundation of how to work and stuff like that. So just a matter of them figuring out exactly how we wanted it done. But being out there with the coaches, again, that was fun too.
Ton of excitement going into this year with the new staff. Players seem to be very excited. Is that, you have to kind of rein that in a little bit though?
We try not to. No, we're excited, and we want that energy out on the field. We want guys moving around, flying around out there, and we got a pretty good dose of that today.
Obviously, you got Jay at running back. What do you need to see out of those other guys this spring?
Well, we just need to figure out who. Jay's got to compete. He's got to get better, but we expect that to happen. But the other guys just see who deserves to get into the game, get some carries, and get some playing time.
And then specialists, you got Dan and Tyler at kicker. Is Sean the only punter, or anybody competing with him?
Well, those guys are also punting, all of them. But Sean did a good job today. I mean, all those guys, the limited stuff we did with special teams today, those guys did a very nice job.
Who all you got snapping?
Kevin Keene and Coda.
What are your kind of goals for the backfield committee this spring? I mean, and assume how close would you be to setting a depth chart and stuff like that?
Well, probably not very close to setting a depth chart. I mean, we've got a good idea Jay's going to be out there and play. But the rest of it, we want to see those guys be consistent, be productive, be excellent in the pass game. So if we get all that stuff out of those guys, that's really what we're looking for. And then we'll kind of solidify the depth chart part of it in the fall.
A couple of coaches I'm doing stories on. One, Andy, and obviously you were around him as a player. Now you're around him as I think he was with you guys at Colorado too a little bit. What have you seen out of him the last 10 years, sort of his development as a coach?
Yeah, he's a superstar. He does a great job. He's detailed. He's a great teacher. He's got great intensity, and getting him back to linebacker where he played, I think this stuff he's able to lend to those guys about how to see the game from that perspective. But he's a great coach and nothing but a bright future in front of him.
And then you were with Steve Caldwell last year. Yep. What's he bring to the staff?
Steve brings wisdom, expertise, intensity. He's a fun guy to be around. Very demanding of his players, but he gets those guys to play hard and play well.
I think he said this is 36 spring ball. That's a lot of spring balls.
That's a lot of spring balls, yeah. Wisdom, a lot of wisdom.
Not to ask a dumb question, but how important is spring ball? The season's still 6 months away. How important is it?
It's critical to us. This is a huge part of our development. It's a good chance, especially for us, to evaluate our schemes, our personnel, so that when we get to fall, we're ready to roll, and then you're moving more into the game plan. There's a little bit of feeling out part and just getting who can do what and that sort of stuff. But this, plus it's we only get so many chances to be on the field. We got 15 opportunities to get better this spring, so it's a critical piece of what we do.
Just about Charles, he obviously suffered a little bit of a setback. We're totally. How's he coming along from his injury? And
he'll be fine. He's healing up well, and he's able to do part of practice right now. And we expect by the end of spring he'll be full go.